Happy Tuesday, everyone. Jo here as SportsGrid. It's time for Pucka with Jo. What an incredible night last night out there on the ice. Only 2 games. We got the exact score with the Islanders Toronto Maple Leafs game. I hope you bet that one 3-2 for the Toronto Blue Jays to stay under that 3.5. Man, that was a sweat. That last, 30, 40, 90 seconds. It was actually 90 seconds of that game. Toronto was pushing so hard to find the back of Sorokin's net. We got Sorokin to the saved his save shots. We cleaned up yesterday. New York Rangers were able to get the win. Both of the games stayed under. So we've got 8 games on the slate today. So excited to go over these. Hopefully make some money again. But I appreciate each and every one of you for being here on the daily. Thank you so much. It lights up my face to see your names just pop up each and every day. So when we're looking at Stanley Cup odds right now, the Edmonton Oilers and the Colorado Avalanche are tied for the favorites to win. We will see the Edmonton Oilers play again tonight. And you guys know I'm a Calgary fan. My money, I think, has to go on Vegas. But you know what? At the end of the day, if Edmonton's able to pull off this win, I want to see it happen. I want to see history being made, but we'll get into that game. We're going to kick it off first with my Calgary Flames. My Calgary Flames taking on the Boston Bruins. Now, Calgary is in a rebuild mode here, but they do have some players that I do think you circle and look at how they come out tonight. So let's just look at those current odds up on FanDuel here. We have Calgary. Let me just find the game here. Calgary's minus 192. So we have had money coming in on them during the day, plus 158. Or sorry, Boston Bruins minus 192. I didn't make sense. Plus 158 on the Calgary Flames, total of 5.5. Now that 5.5 juice to that over at minus 134. So looking at this, Jacob Markstrom is expected in net. And I think we go back to something that we were making money on before he came back from that finger injury. Looking at the Boston Bruins to come out and score first in this first period, I think is where the money is, because you guys know that I can't get behind that money line of minus 192. I think even though Calgary is in a rebuild mode, I don't really want to take the Boston Bruins here on the puck line. I think we might get them coming out just that little bit slower off the break, and they're only sitting 13-10 on the puck line at home. But in that first period, for them to come out and score first, that's coming in at plus 105 to score the first goal in the first period. So that is where I'm going with this game. I think that is a great way to look, with Jacob Markstrom normally giving up a quick, fast, early goal. And also with him coming in off the All-Star break, I think he might start off a little shaky to start this one. Now, the Boston Bruins, they won their last 2 going into the break. And we know Calgary was able to get that win in that last game versus the Chicago Blackhawks after losing the 4 before. So this team absolutely needs to get some wins going, but they know postseason, it's not going to happen. They got Elias Lindholm gone. He has gone to Vancouver. And so this is huge for Calgary to let him go. Now, looking at who they got in return, Kuzmenko, I do think is going to improve the power play here. And Ryan Huska, the head coach, is hoping so as well. So Kuzmenko, if you can get him for a power play point tonight on your book, I would definitely look at that. Now, he is on the Calgary Flames. I'm not getting it on my book. FanDuel hasn't got it listed. I can get him for the anytime goal. Now, the anytime goal is coming in at plus 300. I do think there is value there. When we listen to Ryan Huska talking about him, he really does think that he's going to come out and improve this team. He's a real threat on the power play. And with Calgary's limited power play success, only at 13.8%, any help is really going to help out there. What Ryan Huska said about him is that he's very strong on the puck and he's able to do the job of holding people off once he has the puck. So good words from Ryan Huska there on him. Now, if you're looking for a player prop for the Boston Bruins, you guys know who it is. You look at Pasternak to come out nice and strong. Now, Nathan MacKinnon came out strong last night. We saw that for Colorado, and these players that are sitting at the top of their teams just absolutely dominating, I still think they come out and dominate. So Pasternak, you're going to lay juice for the anytime goal. It's coming in at minus 120. If you take him for the points, you got to take him at least 2+ points to get any value. He's the third leading goal scorer across the league right now, 33 goals and 72 total points. So Pasternak, you can never go wrong with him. Yeah, it was such an incredible night last night. I am so glad that you guys cashed with me. I do think you can be upbeat about the Flames a little bit here. This would be the upset of all upsets. We know the Boston Bruins face Vancouver on Friday, so maybe they're looking ahead to the Vancouver Canucks here. The Vancouver Canucks quietly sitting first in the Pacific. So if you're looking for an underdog, you could look at Calgary here. Connor Zary will be out on the ice with Paletter, I believe you pronounce his name. He's been brought up from the AHL league. This is their first time playing on the same team in the NHL. So we could see a lot of great young life between these two out there on the ice. So if you're looking for a massive underdog, you could look at Calgary today. You're going to get great plus money. I do think Boston, no matter what comes out first, gets that first goal, and that's why I'm going with it. So this team rolled nicely into the All-Star break, and Calgary, just the rebuild mode scares me a little bit. So if you're brave enough, I'm not. I'm going to take Kuzmenko for the anytime goal at plus 300. But if you can get his power play point, that is where I would hit it if you can get it, because I just can't get it on any of my books. Pasternak for the anytime goal at minus 120, and I'll take the Boston Bruins in that first period to score first, and that's coming in at plus 105. Let's look at the next game here. We have the Dallas Stars taking on the Buffalo Sabres, and let me just pull up odds in this one, you guys. This should be an interesting one. Minus 162 here for the Dallas Stars, plus 134 for the Buffalo Sabres. This total is sitting at 6.5 at minus 110 to the over or under. I'm not confident enough in the Buffalo Sabres offensively for this one to go over that number, but I would be afraid to take this one to the under just because of the ability of the Dallas Stars to find the back of Lankenken's net tonight. The last time these teams did play, we saw the Dallas Stars put up 10 goals. It was a 10-4 game back in last March. Now, I do think if you're looking at a total in this one, you take the Dallas Stars team total, you can get their team total over 3.5. I expect them to come out of this All-Star break and at least get 4 goals on a weaker opponent here in the Buffalo Sabres. And we have a couple players out for Buffalo, which is just going to give the advantage here even more to the Dallas Stars. Jack Quinn is out with a lower body injury, their right winger. And Samson, one of their top defensemen, is out of the lineup as well. So I love the Dallas Stars here over 3.5. I also think if you're looking for goal scorers, Jason Robinson has been so phenomenal out there for them, as well as Rupe Hintz. Both of those guys coming in at plus 175 for the anytime goal. When you look at Jason Robinson, he has 33 assists and 50 points, recording 15 goals and 23 assists in his past 20 games. So he's been absolutely phenomenal. Rupe Hintz is sitting there with 22 goals and 11 goals. No, total of 11. Yeah, 22 goals in the last 16 games. So he's been absolutely phenomenal as well. So definitely players you want to look at. Plus 175 for both of them to get the anytime goal, I think is a nice way. I just don't trust the Buffalo Sabres coming out of the break. And they did win their last 2 going into the break. And we saw the Dallas Stars winning their last 3. And I know we have a home dog in the Buffalo Sabres. I just can't get behind them. They're not giving me enough value at plus 134. So at plus 1.5, still no value on that puck line either for them, grabbing them plus the 1.5. It's coming in at minus 172. Let's look at the next game here, the Vancouver Canucks and the Carolina Hurricanes. Current odds on this one, we have the Vancouver Canucks at plus 125, the Carolina Hurricanes at minus 150, total of 6.5. Now that's 6.5 juice to the under at minus 120. And I do like this one. I lean towards that under in this game. I really do think, even though we have 2 teams that are offensively so strong, I think the defenses of both of these teams in the goaltending matchup is where it's at. Now, the road dog here of the Vancouver Canucks, I can't look past. The Vancouver Canucks coming in at plus 125. I know Carolina's so strong at home on the season, sitting 15-2, 15 2 and 2, or sorry, 15 5 and 2 on the season, if I can talk. But they've got a long home stance here. I really do think Vancouver can pull off this win for their first game off of the break. Demko will be in goal tonight. They won their last game before going into the All-Star break, and we saw the Carolina Hurricanes win their last 3. The Canucks have not lost in regulation in more than a month, you guys. This team has been absolutely on fire. No one's really talking about the Vancouver Canucks. I told you a couple weeks ago on Game Time Decisions to look at them to take the Pacific. They were minus 125 at that point to win the division. They're now minus 145 favorites to win the division, and I still find value in them at that price. Looking at the Carolina Hurricanes, and yeah, they have played strong as well. They've won 6 of the last 8 games. So I do think they're a phenomenally strong team. But when we look at the Vancouver Canucks, they won the last meeting back in December 4-3. And the meeting before that, they won 4-3 as well. One of those, the last one was at home. The other one was in Carolina. So this is a team that can come into Carolina and be able to get the win. Now, like I said, Calgary let go of Elias Lindholm, and Lindholm has been added to the Vancouver Canucks. He will be making his debut here. And it's interesting. He is making his debut against the team that drafted him. Yeah, the Carolina Hurricanes drafted Elias Lindholm. That was back in 2013. Now, he did play 5 seasons for them. I think this is a phenomenal debut out of him versus his former team. So I'm going to look at Elias Lindholm here for that anytime goal. It's coming in at plus 270. But I do think this is an under game. I'm taking the under 6.5. Now, I believe that line, has it moved to 5.5? No, under 6.5 at minus 120. If there's 5.5 out there with plus money, I am so tempted because I do think this is a 3-2 style game. But at 6.5, I'll take it and lay a little bit of juice in this one. It's going to be a phenomenal one. Elias Lindholm, I really do think, makes a big splash in his debut here for the Vancouver Canucks. I'm excited to see how he performs with them out there. Gonna miss him, that's for sure, in Calgary. Okay, I'm just reading your messages, hoping the Oilers win, but you're going to bet the Knights. Yeah, it's a hard one there because you want to see history being made. I don't know the next time we're going to see a team be able to go on such a strong run here. They've won their last 16 games, and Stuart Skinner is coming up for tying Bobrovsky for the most straight wins for any goalie. So he's a couple away. He's 112. We're going to get into this game in a minute, but I want to see history being made. And even as a Calgary fan, and I don't love Edmonton, Deadmonton as I call them, but I would rather see history being made tonight. Kuzmenko is plus 380 for that power play point on DK. I would look at that all day. I really do think he's going to come out and play really strong for Calgary in this one. Late to the party. Let's go. Avs and Devils, first period. I love that game to the over as well. We know the Avs played last night. I think they get up hard and fast, but this Devils team never stops coming back. So we'll get to that. McKinnon for 7+ shots. Nice. That is a beautiful hit on Nathan McKinnon. That is for sure. Kuzmenko plus 380. I love it, you guys. I love where you're going with that. The Devils, Buffalo over 6.5. I'm trusting in, sorry, I read Devils. It's Dallas. I'm trusting in Dallas to go over their team total of 3.5 at minus 110 and staying off Buffalo. But good luck today on that one, Chip. Kuzmenko, yeah, he is going to be very good for Calgary as well. Yeah, we got those unders last night. Definitely good to see. Okay, let's move on to the next game before I go over a couple more comments here. The Philadelphia Flyers taking on the Florida Panthers. The Flyers are a fade team for me, you guys, ever since Carter Hart he's not released from the team, but he's gone on leave from this team. This team has been an absolute mess. Urson, while he was playing strong, when Carter Hart was there, just started to fall apart. The pressure has not been good for him. And while I like to look at teams coming out of the All-Star break that went in kind of a mess to be able to bounce back, like we saw the Islanders last night, the Flyers are not a team that I am willing to put my money on. Now, if you're willing to put your money on the Philadelphia Flyers, they're coming in at plus 160. You got minus 194 on the Florida Panthers, total of 5.5. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to hit this one to the under. You're going to lay juice to the over at minus 140. The under is plus 114. I don't trust in the Flyers to be able to score in this one against the defense of the Florida Panthers. This defense has been locking down so phenomenally strong on the season. They're allowing an average of 2.57 goals per game and 27.3 shots on goal, which is second best overall in the league. Their kills clicking at 82.7%, and the Philadelphia Flyers actually have a strong kill at 85.7%. They are allowing 28.3 shots on goal. So their defense is doing pretty solid, but Urson, I don't trust here versus the Florida Panthers. The only way this goes over is if the Florida Panthers come out and score, I would say 5. I think maybe the Flyers score 1 goal in this game. So if the Florida Panthers score 5, then it's going to kill this total. But I really do think this is a 4-1 at most, a style game. Stolarz is in goal tonight, though, not Bobrovsky for the Florida Panthers, but he's got really solid numbers, you guys. As a backup goalie, he's got a 2.11 goals against average and a 916 save percentage. So I do think he comes out and plays solid in this one. I just can't trust the Flyers. Now, if you want to look at them on that puck line, there's no value. Plus 1.5 is minus 152, but this team has been elite on the puck line on the road, sitting 21-4 on the road on that puck line, but it's minus 152 there. They have won the last 2 meetings, both in Philly, though. So we look at the home ice advantage here for the Florida Panthers, and it's just too much for me. The last 5 meetings, the home team has won. So it's the Florida Panthers. For me, it's just a way to find value in betting them. What I'm going to do is look at the Philadelphia Flyers. I'm going to look at their team total. I like it so much better even than the under 5.5, just because I think they're the team I can't count on to get the goals. And if the Florida Panthers go off in this game, we could go over. The under 2.5 for the Philadelphia Flyers is plus 118, or sorry, minus 118. So that's where I'm going. Tippett is still on IR. Owen Tippett. And then we do have Nick Cousins on IR for a concussion here for the Florida Panthers as well. So we're going to get to the next game here, you guys. I'm seeing all of your comments. So many comments today. Florida in regulation. Yeah, Kelly, I would look at Florida in regulation as well at minus 127. That's a pretty good look there. Okay. You think the Flyers have prop shot over against the Flyers? Yeah, Verhaeghe, you could look at his props, his shots to the over. The Flyers do give up. What did they give up? 33.7 shots, or sorry, 28.3 shots on goal per game. So I would prefer to take, whenever I look at those shot props, I like a team that's allowing at least 30. 28.7 still up there, especially with the Florida Panthers. You look at this team offensively, 34.4 shots on goal per game. They should come out flying. Oh, you're seeing Owen Tippett is back. Okay, Tippett back out there on the ice. That is a scary one with Tippett. Tippett is going to come out with a vengeance back on the ice in this one. I would lean still to the under 2.5. Reinhart has been absolutely fire. I would look at him for the anytime goal absolutely in this one. Yeah, it's got to be the team total for Philly for me. Okay, let's look at the next game here, you guys. We got the Winnipeg Jets taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins now. In this, the Winnipeg Jets are the dog on the road at minus 108, minus 111 here for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Total of 5.5. You're going to lay minus 115 to the over, minus 105 to the over in this one. Connor Hellebuck versus Tristan Jarry. Give me the under 5.5 at minus 105. I know I'm liking a lot of unders tonight, but I do think this is another one you've got to look at the under. Looking at this goaltending matchup, absolutely phenomenal here. The Winnipeg Jets absolutely want this win, and they're going to focus on locking down on the defensive side and goaltending wise as well. But Tristan Jarry has been phenomenal in net. We know the Pittsburgh Penguins are not a team that is really known for a lot of goals per game. They're only averaging that 2.96 goals per game. The power play, both power plays of both of these teams aren't clicking at the rate that I would like to see. The Winnipeg Jets sitting at 15.6 conversion rate and the Pittsburgh Penguins at 13.1. So I'm not worried about either team converting on the power play, which normally is something I look at first when I look at those totals. The kill isn't as strong here for the Winnipeg Jets, but Connor Hellebuck really does make up for it. The last time these teams played, the Winnipeg Jets got the win. That was just earlier in January. It was a 4-1 game. So that still kept us under this total of 5.5. Now, the Winnipeg Jets have won 2 of the last 3 meetings in Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh has won 7 of the last 10 meetings overall. Monahan from the Montreal Canadiens was picked up by the Winnipeg Jets. Unfortunately, he will not be making his debut tonight. I'm not sure why. George Kurtz told me of SportsGrid that it was because he was at home getting his internet hooked up. Pretty sure he was joking, but if he wasn't joking, that's pretty lame excuse. No, I don't think that is why, but he won't be in the lineup tonight. Mark Scheifele is expected back for the Winnipeg Jets, which will be great to see. Really strong center out here. He has 14 goals and 27 assists and 41 points on the season. He hasn't played with them since the middle of January. I want to say about January 11th. And Winnipeg, in his absence, went 2-3-1. So Mark Scheifele back on this ice is going to be a great addition for the Winnipeg Jets. Am I willing to take the Winnipeg Jets here? Oh, I think I have to. But the Pittsburgh Penguins, they're an older team. So this rest really will help the Pittsburgh Penguins. They won that last game going into the break, but the Winnipeg Jets lost their 3 before going into that break. So I really like a team that was on a losing streak, especially that's as phenomenally strong as the Jets, to bounce back strong out of it. So I'm not taking a side. I really do think this is a 2-1 style game that could go to overtime. I would bet this one to go to overtime. So I'm going to take the under 5.5 with that minus 105 value. Yeah, I could see Jets reverse puck line. Absolutely. I could see them being able to get the win. Jets are in good form. That is for sure. Yeah, they're going to play again on Saturday. So you look at it here, it's hard to go against the Pittsburgh Penguins. I see your comments. The Penguins are on fire. Where'd that comment go? I lost it. But Sidney Crosby's so good. I don't know. This is a goaltending matchup. Whichever goaltender doesn't make the mistakes, just give me the under here. And no goalie props were out when I was capping these games earlier. So let's just see if we got any goalie props in this one, because I do think this is one where you really look at those numbers. So Jari's number is 26.5 at minus 124 to the under, and Connor Hellebuck is 28.5 at minus 112 to either side of it. So when we look at both of these goalies coming in here, Connor Hellebuck has a 924 save percentage and Tristan Jarry a 913. The Winnipeg Jets are phenomenally strong at locking down, not allowing their opponents to get those shots on goal, holding opponents to 29. They've done a lot better in the last couple. Their kill isn't as strong as the Pittsburgh Penguins. Tristan Jarry at 28.5 has an interesting look. I do think the Penguins get more shots off, though. They're averaging that 33.3, while the Winnipeg Jets like to drop back and play a more defensive, strong game, only averaging that 30.9 shots on goal. Those numbers are too right on for me to touch. If I was to look at either of these goaltenders, which one I believe would go over it, I would look here. Yeah, I would look at Tristan Jarry. I do think his defense allows more shots on him, so you'd have the best ability for him to be able to go over that number, especially when I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. Let's look at the next matchup here. We got the Montreal Canadiens taking on the Washington Capitals. Now Montreal at plus 132, minus 160 here for the Washington Capitals. Total again of 5.5, minus 120 to the over, minus 102 to the under. Charlie Lindgren confirmed tonight for the Washington Capitals, and Sam Montague here for the Montreal Canadiens. You guys know that I love playing on Montreal when they are a dog, especially with Sam Montague in net. Now, the Washington Capitals, another older team, which is really hard to go against them here, especially with losing their last 4 before the break, working hard during the break to come back nice and strong. I could see them be able to get the win here at home, but the value you're getting on the Washington Capitals at minus 160, I just can't play on. When these teams match up, it's really interesting to see they actually trend to that over, with the Montreal Canadiens averaging 3.2 goals per game in the last 10 meetings, and the Washington Capitals averaging that 4.4. Now, without Shane Monahan on the ice for the Montreal Canadiens, it's going to be a harder feat for them out here. They got a lot of great draft picks back in exchange for Shane Monahan. So, phenomenally strong player. The Habs have lost 6 of the last 10 versus the Washington Capitals. So I do think this is a play here on Washington. It's just a matter of trying to find value. Now, because I don't like taking, I've got to look at some of these totals here because Sam Montague has been so phenomenally strong. His goalie prop, I'm just pulling that up, is coming in at 28 and a half, minus 102 to the over and minus 124 to the under. So when we look at the Washington Capitals, they're only averaging 27.3 shots on goal per game, but the Montreal Canadiens giving up 34 shots. So they do really allow Sam Montague to be peppered at 28 and a half. This could be one of those cases where he just hits right on 29. So I would lean to that over, but it's going to be a hard one here to hit that over. Charlie Lindgren, on the other hand, his total saves is 24 and a half, minus 112 to the over or the under. Montreal averaging 28.1. I think their average will drop a little bit without Shane Monahan in the lineup. I'm looking for about 27 shots out of them. His number again is 24 and a half. I actually like that. Charlie Lindgren over 24 and a half save shots on goal. You look at the Washington Capitals defensively, they do give up those shots, allowing an average of 30.6. And we know the Montreal Canadiens love to bring it as an underdog. Cole Caulfield has been so phenomenally strong for them. I'm just going to look up Cole Caulfield for the anytime goal. We're not even getting great value on him anymore, you guys. It's coming in at plus 150. You can look at Alex Ovechkin as well for the anytime goal. That's coming in at plus 165. And I do think Montreal can make the Washington Capitals play a more open game, that this one does go to that over, because I tell you, Montreal has every ability, even without Monahan in the lineup, to be able to pull off the upset. Washington Capitals, though, off rest, are going to be playing a strong game. Now, Nick Suzuki, someone else to look at for the Montreal Canadiens. It's going to rest a lot on him in this one at plus 220 for that anytime goal. Not my favorite game. There's Suzuki for the point. Let me know what value you're getting on Suzuki for the point. I like him for the goal. For the power play point, he's coming in at plus 170. For the just straight up point, minus 235. So search for that value out there for sure. Okay. Yeah. Cole Caulfield, anytime goal, definitely where you want to look. Caps, first 10 minutes, money line. Yeah, I would look at the Washington Capitals to start this game off strong. We talk about it all the time with the Montreal Canadiens. This team kind of does start off slow, and I would look at them on those live lines to be able to come back, especially with them coming into this one as a dog. And this game could go to overtime. I absolutely could see this one going to OT as well. Kelly, nice look on that. Okay, let's move on to the next game. We're going to finish off with these two games, finish off strong here. The Colorado Avalanche on their second night of a back-to-back off the All-Star break with a backup goalie who I cannot trust. He's played one game. He's got a 4, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. You spell it Annunen. Too many vowels for me. He's got a 4 goals against average, a 900 save percentage versus Nico Dawes here, it looks like, for the New Jersey Devils. Now, Jack Hughes. Let's see if we're getting any props on Jack Hughes, because I'm seeing conflicting. I'm seeing people say Jack Hughes won't be in the lineup tonight, but then he did participate in morning skate. And he doesn't look like he is on FanDuel. So without Jack Hughes, this team has been absolutely struggling to score here. I'm going to look at Colorado to come out in that first period, and I'm going to hit them in the first period on the money line at minus 122. They have won their last 4 first periods. With the second night of a back-to-back, and I know what we saw out of them last night, only able to get that 1 goal versus the New York Rangers, they're not going to get the resistance in the defense here out of the New Jersey Devils. We know this is a high-powered, fast-scoring team with Jack Hughes on the roster. Now, without Jack Hughes, they have been showing their struggles. So once Colorado goes up in this game, I'm going to look at coming back and hitting the New Jersey Devils. Depending on how they're looking out there, depending on if Jack Hughes is in the lineup, plus the 1.5. Now, you can't hit them plus the 1.5 right now. They're coming in at minus 135. But I do think if Colorado goes up, especially if they go up 2 goals in that first period, I'm going to look at coming back on the New Jersey Devils plus 1.5 or plus 2.5 when they're giving us value, and maybe sneakily on the money line. Colorado is more than possible to lose these first 2 games out of the All-Star break. So I could see it happening, you guys, but without Jack Hughes, it's going to be a harder feat. We got Jesper Bratt and Tyler Toffoli. I would look at those players for anytime goal scorers. Nathan McKinnon, we know how hot he has been. No value on him for the anytime goal. It's minus 105, but Rantanen is at plus 100 now. Tyler Toffoli at plus 180 and Jesper Bratt at plus 185. If you're looking for a longer shot for Colorado, I would definitely circle Cale Makar. I love Cale Makar actually tonight. He's coming in at plus 330 for that anytime goal on Nico Daws. So I do think that is a nice way to look. And then a longer shot for the New Jersey Devils. You know, I have to look at Jack Hughes' brother to pick up the slack. And I guess that's where I'm looking. The 2 offensive defensemen here, Luke Hughes at plus 700 for the anytime goal, and then Colorado's Cale Makar at plus 330. So I do like both of those players to be able to find the back of the net tonight. I do think this one goes to that over. I don't trust the goaltending here for the Colorado Avalanche, and Nico Daws, while he can play okay, I just do think this one still goes over that total. Okay. Yeah, I think Crosby will get at least 3 shots on goal tonight for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Sidney Crosby will come out nice and strong in this one. Makar, anytime goal. I love that we're thinking the same thing as well. Yeah, I'm not seeing Jack Hughes did participate in morning skate. He wasn't wearing like a special jersey to count him out, but I'm not seeing any player props for him. But if he is on the ice, I absolutely love him to get the Devils the win. So this is my train of thought. I'm gonna put on the game. Let's see if Jack Hughes is on the ice. I'm gonna wait for Colorado to score. If Jack Hughes is on the ice and Colorado goes up a goal, I'm automatically taking the New Jersey Devils on the money line with the plus money we're going to get. Now, if he's not on the ice and Colorado scores, I'm hoping they score twice, because then I will take the New Jersey Devils plus the 2.5 on the puck line, and we're going to get that probably at minus 110. So that is my game plan for tonight. Last game here. Remind me not to take you in a spelling bee. Okay. Love this over. Let's go. Next game, last game on the board, the Edmonton Oilers. We got the Edmonton Oilers taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. Edmonton looking to continue this winning trend. And you guys, I hope nothing more. And for all the hate I give Edmonton, I want to see history being made here. I would love to see them get the win. So odds right now, Edmonton is minus 152. This has moved so much. Plus 126 here for the Vegas Golden Knights, total of 6.5. Minus 128 to the under. For me, this is an under game. You guys, I don't see this one going over that total. Aiden Hill is confirmed tonight for the Vegas Golden Knights. He's been absolutely phenomenal. 1.94 goals against average and a 936 save percentage. And then Skinner. What can we say about Skinner? I cannot believe how strong Skinner has been. And you guys, I keep talking about the Edmonton Oilers at the start of the season. It was atrocious, but this team really has turned things around, and the All-Star break came at the worst possible time for them. 2.44 goals against average and a 910 save percentage. Now, Skinner, as a goalie, has won 12 straight games for the Edmonton Oilers. In that time, he has posted a 1.41 goals against average and a save percentage of 950. It's been phenomenal to see. I can't believe what we've seen out of him. He's only 2 wins away for tying Bobrovsky for 14 straight victories. So he needs this win tonight and he needs the next win, and he will tie Bobrovsky for 14 straight victories, which Bobrovsky accomplished back in his Columbus Blue Jackets days in the 2016-2017 season. There's only been 4 goalies that have been able to do this in history. So we are seeing a goalie that is on the verge of making history here. I absolutely want to see him do it. I want to see Edmonton do it, even though I'm a Flames fan. So phenomenal to see this kind of history being made out there on the ice. So the Edmonton Oilers going for their 17th straight win. Can they get it done versus the Vegas Golden Knights, who did kick them out of the playoffs last season? This is going to be so much here for Edmonton to have to overcome. They're not talking about this, and I got a friend that has been traveling with the team down to this game. This team is ready to come out and play. William Karlsson is back for the Vegas Golden Knights, such a strong center who's strong on both ends of that puck. I'm going to look at the no goals in the first 10 minutes out of both of these teams. That's coming in at plus 120. The under 1.5 in the first period at minus 102, and the under 6.5 for the full game. Edmonton is doing such a strong job defensively and goaltending wise. And then you look at Vegas with Adin Hill in net now. Jack Eichel still expected to be out of this game on IR. This is going to be an absolute battle. Now, if Edmonton gets past this one and the next, or actually just this one, if they get past this one, they're going to tie the Pittsburgh Penguins for the longest winning streak in NHL history, which hasn't happened since Mario Lemieux with the Pittsburgh Penguins in the 92-93 season. So, you guys, we're on the verge of watching history happen. Edmonton did win the last battle back in November 5-4. I hope they get it. I really hope they get it done. So, if I was betting the full game, I would lean on Vegas just because it is the Vegas Golden Knights, the reigning Stanley Cup team, with an Edmonton team that had a break at the worst possible time. If there was no break, I would continue to ride with Edmonton. I'm not betting, though, this full game. I'm going to look at the first period. No goal in the first 10 minutes. I'm getting plus money, but I lean to thinking Vegas breaks it, but I hope to hell that they don't. So that is where I'm going. You're so welcome. Yeah, Stone for the anytime goal as well. I would look at Connor McDavid to put the weight of the world on his shoulders in this one. We know he hasn't been scoring. Him and Draisaitl really haven't been that impactful. It has been their defense and their goaltending, which is so crazy to think as soon as this team starts stepping up offensively again. But I think with how we're seeing them play, Edmonton is relying on their strong forwards like Connor McDavid to back check as well. So they're playing both ways of the puck. And this is what we saw last season. When Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl play both ways of the puck and they come out and get those back checks in, we're seeing this team have so much success. If they don't play that, and if they start to open up on the offensive side, if this goes to a high-scoring game, I would look at Vegas to get the win. So I think Edmonton has to do exactly what they did before the break. They have to come out. They have to play on the defensive side. So, it's going to be a hard one. McDavid paying fruit at plus 110 anytime goal. Yeah, it's okay. You can go against me all the time. What are you doing? Oilers versus Knights, first period over 1.5. And you know what? If it goes over 1.5 in that first period, I really do think Edmonton ends up walking away with a loss. I think they have to make sure this is a low scoring one. I trust in Adin Hill, but Adin Hill has had a break as well, probably a bad break time for them. So I understand your reasoning on why you'd look at this one to go over. I'm looking at both of these teams to be able to come out and play that defensive side that I had hoped for. Best of luck to you guys. Yeah, Doug, I'm riding with the under in this. It's under all day for me, the under first period, under for the full game. Paul, I appreciate you as well. Plus 1.5. Yeah, I agree. You could look at Vegas plus 1.5. I'm just not finding the value there, but you could look at that within a parlay. You guys, I appreciate each and every one of you so phenomenally much. Let's make some freaking money out there again on the ice. I know I gave you so many unders. I like all of these games basically today to the under, except for Colorado and the New Jersey Devils. So we saw the unders cashing last night. Don't be afraid to bet those unders. The Edmonton and Vegas game, my favorite bet of that game is no goal in the first 10 minutes. I really do think we need defense to come out for both of these teams. Both of these teams don't want to give up that first goal. So I love that. What else do I absolutely love today? I love the Dallas Stars. I love their team total over that 3.5. I really do think they come out phenomenally strong. Boston money line. I can't get behind the juice, Tommy, on Boston on the money line, but I like Boston to score first in the first period. We're getting that. I believe it's plus 105 off my memory. Boston to score first in the first period. Jacob Markstrom to give up that easy one. We know Jacob Markstrom can do it. But you guys, good luck. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is time to make some freaking money. RotoWire is doing NFL marathon. I'm on there today at, what time is it? 7:40 Eastern to 7:47, giving out my NFL picks. So make sure you go over to RotoWire and check that out. But you guys, back tomorrow. Only 3 games tomorrow to focus on tonight. There's so much action happening out there on the ice. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Drop below what you're betting, if you're parlaying anything below this video so people can jump on those bets with you. I always want to hear what you guys are liking. If there's something I missed and you're finding amazing value with it, please let me know. I want to jump on those hot bets as well. So you guys have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.